Previously on Straight Six Fan.
I started sputtering out right where there was a right-hand turn lane, and I was able to pull off into this median. So anyway, hey, surprise, surprise, I did it all in one day. I'll go back and do the math here at home. Hey, welcome back to the show, faithful subscribers. But if this is your first time, my name's Great Tommy. This is Straight Six Fan, where I like to focus on budget-minded, relatable, creative builds. Well, something I like to call offbeat hot rodding. Today we are going to take a look at what it takes to drop the tank, the fuel tank, that is, on Project Low Fairmont, or any Fox body if you happen to own a Mustang, Thunderbird, things of that era. But first, I did want to bring you guys back up to speed on where we left off. You saw in the intro screen, that last clip from my last episode, I did do a miles to empty challenge, so I wanted to insert the conclusions of that, my footage from last Sunday, right here, so you guys can figure out who won the challenge. At the time of me recording this, I won't be able to declare a winner on this episode. I will likely do that down in the description below later because, as you know, the deadline for answers is 8:30 p.m. Central on this day, Sunday, but I'm recording this obviously in front of 8:30 p.m. Central on Sunday, May 12th? Yes, May 12th, so it's about 3:30 right now. So anyway, good luck to everybody. I will probably go lock the comments on the last episode at 8:30 or disable them. I guess YouTube timestamps that anyway. But anyway, let's just get to that footage. Alright, so as a reminder, I pulled it up. It was on my Ashtray Gauge Pod is Finished episode, where I started and we were at 68,376 miles. Okay. 461.9 ran out of gas. Before we get any further, before we even start on this job, I went ahead and hit the fuel tank strap bolts with PB Blaster because I got a little bit of stuff to take care of before we can even, that's like the last step, I guess is what I'm getting at. So if I was thinking ahead, would have done this throughout the week. I've started that, you know, come out every night or something. Because there's some crud on the bottom. They look like they're going to be a little bit of a fight. So anyway, that was step one. Hit the strap bolts with PB Blaster. Alright, so the next step for me is I'm going to start scraping off some crud from around where the filler neck connects to the tank. I'll be honest, I'm not pioneering this video. I have actually consulted another video, as you might imagine, EricTheCarGuy, the world famous YouTube Fairmont project. He did a video over here removing the gas tank, so I'm learning from a lot of his from that video. Go ahead and watch that one. It's going to be a much more in-depth how-to than this cut, I guarantee you. But anyway, don't want any of that nasty crud falling into the tank. That's definitely a pointer I picked up from his video. But anyway, let's get to work. Now, what's not necessarily 100% clear to me or not is to whether or not you have to remove the filler neck because it's just friction fit into the tank, so it feels like you should be able to pull it out. I don't know if I necessarily even have to do that for what I'm doing, but it is going to have to come out. I mean, I'm going to have to relieve the tension so it can fall back through this, you know, as I lower the tank. So to do that, 3/8 inch socket is what you need, and just four bolts will do the trick. They're not really hardly even torqued down, as you can see, to much of nothing. So you can see how the flange is sort of just naturally has come off, but that's going to allow, of course I haven't taken the gas cap off, but this should be able to just slide down. The other thing is there is this vent tube. Since I don't think I need to goof around at all with the housing. I think I can just leave the vent tubing in place, but I'll show you a quick shot of the underside, how it just comes through the body. So even if I did need to, you could just pull it up from this side. Now, you might find it unnecessary to remove this. Again, I'm just kind of freestyling it here. Yes, I did watch EricTheCarGuy's video, but I don't believe his actually came with this. But what I did find is the advantage I have is it feels like now I've got better leverage to be able to pull on the filler neck to pull it out of the fuel tank. And I want to do that now while it's still attached to the car. Since it's nice and stable, strapped up in there, I feel like I haven't figured it out, but as much leverage as there is, it feels like it's gonna just slide right out. So let me give that a shot. Now, before we get too carried away, I'm gonna go ahead and bag up all my fasteners, keep them consolidated. I don't anticipate there being a whole lot more than what we have here, but I'd better be safe than sorry, stay up on it, than let it get carried away. In fact, look, I already missed one. Okay, next. Located on the passenger side of the tank, front side of the passenger side of the tank, is the sending unit itself, I believe. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe that's just the fuel line, but you see there's an electric connector and a fuel line we have to disconnect. So we will go about doing that. Yeah, I believe that's it. There might be, because I think there's just a return line up above. Anyway, you guys can blow me up in the comments. I obviously, this is the first time I'm doing anything like this, so I only partially know what I'm talking about. But anyway, we're gonna go get like a golf tee or something to plug that fuel in with. After playing around some, 15 millimeter is what we have here, and you can see the value of PB Blaster because I don't have a 15 millimeter impact socket in my repertoire right now. So you saw I got the jack up under the fuel tank. Obviously it's not a symmetrical shape, so I'm not 100% sure that my bracing is going to be perfect, but that's why I'm going to back these off equal distance at the same time. So I'm going to go switch over to the driver's side now. Alright, so both straps are disconnected and the tank didn't move at all, so that tells me one of two things. either there's some nasty corrosive stuff, kind of friction sticking it to the belly of this thing, or my floor jack is doing its job as is, but we're going to go ahead and try to relieve the pressure from the floor jack, see what happens. Hey, looky there. And folks, that was pretty easy, but yeah, you can just see all of this gravel. It's been stuck on top of this thing for years, and this little cardboard piece, I think they're masonite or something, kind of like a washer, I guess. Maybe it's just so there's not metal on metal contact. Well, it's been saturated over the years, and that's what's causing my rust problems in the spare tire tub. So you can see on top here, we are stretching that return line or whatever pretty good, so we got to get that off here before we do anything else. Yeah, so here's a look at the top side of the tank. Like I said, look at all that gravel. Not a great sign, but I actually just based off of how shiny this is, I'm guessing, or hopeful that I just kind of caught it at a good time. I don't think this is going to be in horrible shape, but I'm going to just, I opted to leave the vent tube in up here just because of how dirty it is. Didn't want to dump stuff in the tank, so I'm going to clog this guy up, tape it off or whatever, so I can get to hosing down or cleaning off the top of this. It's starting to rain. I decided to pull it in to so I didn't turn what dust was left into mud, but it cleaned up pretty nice so far. You guys feel free in the comments below, comment on my hypothesis, which is this looks like, I'm guessing this is an aluminum tank, and that little sheet I'm guessing was just like an isolator strip, so you didn't have aluminum touching steel for corrosion. That's my guess. So this is all new to me, but there's this little collar on here that just, just like a gas cap would, rotates out that way. So I did have to use, well, should have been a pry bar, but used a screwdriver. I don't own pry bars at the moment to get it loose. So yeah, just, pull it off like so. And I would guess that this guy should just, there we go, come on out. Huh, interesting. The float doesn't look like it's got any problem moving up and down. But, I may have to try this out in a, just like a bucket of water, see if this floats on its own, kind of submerge it and just see what happens. But it also could have been, it is fairly rusted. It could have been seized up in a location, but from my understanding, I can do like a resistance test on this to figure out if it's working too. So anyway, yeah, there's just some more things I need to learn here, and that's okay. That's part of the reason why I have Project Blow Fairmont, is to learn things just like this. So anyway, this was the objective for the episode, so let's go ahead and close it out since I got a late start on the day. Alright, so we have the garage all picked back up, ready to end for the night. Time to get my butt in there and start editing. I don't know if I'll get this up by 8:30 or not. Of course, whenever you're watching it, so you don't really care, right? But anyway, yeah, it's amazing how light the gas tank is, really. With next to no gas in it, and yeah, my hypothesis, I'm pretty sure it's aluminum, so that's pretty cool. But guys, now I'm not gonna make any promises, but if everything goes right, I hope to have a Tuesday upload for you, which is unveiling the new car for the garage. As you may know or recall, or I don't know how many times I've mentioned it, maybe not often outside of our live stream, but my wife, we replaced her car, her old Ford Taurus. Oh yeah, it did make it in one episode. Anyway, if you caught the final Car Guy and Six Fan show of season 1, you saw me give a little teaser there, or maybe if you have seen on Instagram, there's a spy shot on there as well. But just because the Car Guy and Six Fan show has come to an end for season 1 doesn't mean that we aren't going to do it here in the future. We do plan on season 2. I think it's probably going to be the first Thursday after the 4th of July, because 4th of July falls on a Thursday this year. So anyway, keep your eyes peeled for that. It also doesn't mean I'm not going to help promote helping Jason Carr, our old car auto guy, getting his watch hours. He's well over probably 1,200 subscribers now, but still needing that 4,000 watched hours. So go check out his channel over there. And it's also not going to stop me from promoting friends like Mike over at Monkey Fab Garage, as I'm sporting his t-shirt in this episode today. So speaking of t-shirts, as you know, link in the description below to my Spreadshirt store for if you want a straight 6-fan Pistons tee or 30/60s 198 tee. And if you don't even know what those are, just click the link and check it out. Also, there's a link to all the gear I've used in this episode. There's a link to all that, if you care, down below as well. So anyway, I know there was a lot in this episode. We unveiled the miles to empty total. We showed you how to drop a fuel tank on a Fox body, specifically Ford Fairmont, without EricTheCarGuy amenities. We also finally took a look at that sending unit. So that's something that I'm going to do some more exploring here as the week goes on. But I've been talking long enough. Guys, thanks for making it all the way to the end. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't really care which one you do. I just really appreciate it if you do any one of those. That'll do it for this episode. Until next time, peace out.